Hey there, friends. You know I talk a lot about trying to deliver truth, right? I consider myself a truth pimp, if you will. I'm not a news agency. I'm simply trying to take information out there, put it out there, and hopefully we can generate some kind of a somewhat intelligent conversation on determining what the truth is, or at least passing accurate information on. Sometimes folks on our side don't necessarily do the due diligence to find out if the truth is what they're passing on. Take a look at this video real quick. I'm going to give you a really quick, I guess, synopsis of it, or a detail of it. This is, in fact, a National Guard unit in 2020 that Governor Tim Walz, who was the vice presidential candidate, did send, did arm these guys with paintball guns. At least that's what they say. I saw a flash on one of them. I'm not sure that's a paintball gun. But ordered these guys to shoot on its citizens with these same guns to go inside. I'll tell you the reason why in a second.
Oh, there's more. Look at this. They just keep coming.
Go inside! Get inside! Get inside! Get inside! Get in your house now! Let's go! Light them up! Go inside now! Get in the house!
Get in, get in, get in, get in, get in, get in! Get in!
Oh, God, that hurt. You good?
Are you okay?
Right on the fucking crotch.
Are you okay? You got hit?
I'm good. They're fucked for that, dude. What?
Okay.
Light them up, huh? Light them up. These are citizens of your state. These people were on their front porch, not somebody else's. They were on their property, on their front stoop, front step, front porch, whatever you want to call it. This was their home. You ordered them to get back inside, and they didn't comply fast enough, so you had people shoot at them on their own property with whatever it is. I'm doubtful that these were paintball guns, because I've shot paintball guns before and they use CO2. I've never seen a flash. Of course, I've never played paintball at night either, but I've never seen a flash. There was a muzzle flash from one of these. My guess is it might be one of those types of firearms or whatever that shoot less than lethal or something like that, possibly. Obviously, it wasn't a full-blown firearm, right? We understand that. But still, when you see a muzzle flash like that, I'm not aware that CO2 does that. Maybe it does at night. I don't know. But the truth that I want to make sure that we get out, this video is making its rounds right now. Like, this is August of 2024. This happened 4 years ago. This video is making its rounds, but for the wrong reason, and there's no reason to twist the truth on this. There's a very popular group of guys called Hodge Twins on Twitter. These guys are very conservative. They do, I think, a very good job of putting information out there and getting out there pretty quick. And it's usually information that's kind of controversial, that when you look at it, you're like, man, I can't believe that happened. However, they're framing this wrong. It says Kamala's VP Tim Walz sent his tyrannical agents into Minnesota neighborhoods to shoot citizens with paintball guns during COVID. Do we really want someone like this running our country? Now, what they're stating is not factually incorrect. In other words, this was during COVID that they did this, right? However, sometimes when you omit information to imply something, it's, and I hate to say a lie because I don't think these guys are trying to maliciously mislead people, but sometimes when you omit various things, you do that. What this was in response to the George Floyd riots, right? This was not in response to COVID. They weren't shooting these people because they were outside just because it was during COVID. It was, in fact, during COVID, right? The George Floyd riots, where they burnt the city down, did happen during COVID. But that's not why these agents of the government are shooting at people. They're shooting at people because there was a curfew at the time as a result of the George Floyd riots. Police officers and National Guard forces in Minneapolis shot paintballs at residents standing outside on their porch as a curfew was enforced throughout the city. A video posted on Twitter on Saturday night appears to show the Minnesota National Guard and State Police ordering the residents of one street to go inside before they turn their weapons on a group of residents. The footage captures people rushing inside the property after shots are fired and shows where one member of the public had been hit by a paintball. Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, said that the National Guard will be fully mobilized. The number on duty in the city will rise from more than 4,000 to almost 11,000. The protests against Floyd's death and other police killings have swept across the U.S. in recent days. Armed officers can be heard shouting, "Light 'em up!" before the shots start. At around the time of the shooting on Saturday, an 8 p.m. curfew was implemented in Minneapolis, the city where protests started after the death of George Floyd on May 25th. This particular article was 6 days later, so within a week's time, these law enforcement officers were shooting at residents of the city. Now, there's still reason to share this video, and there's certainly still reason to put this out, and it's certainly still a stain on the governor at the time, Tim Walz, who is now the vice presidential candidate pick of Kamala Harris. Why do I say that? Because this man waited 4 days before he activated the National Guard after people started burning the city down. And actually it spread across the entire country. But they were burning Minneapolis to the ground because they had George Floyd in their mind. Remember, this man did not send the National Guard through the bad neighborhoods. Actually, they'd already mostly been burnt down in that first 4 days. But he didn't send them into those neighborhoods and shoot at any of those residents. Where's the video of the National Guard shooting at the rioters' neighborhoods, right? Walking through their streets, shooting at them. There are none. I looked. This guy, because it's easy, because it's the low-hanging fruit, because they know they're not going to get any resistance, sends National Guard troops into neighborhoods where they're not rioting, where nobody's doing anything. Nobody's causing any harm. I get you got a curfew. I get it. Oh, that's the law. I get it. Why would you send them there? I don't see any of the buildings burning in this video. I don't even see smoke in the background. So it would appear that these troops are very far away from the neighborhoods that they should be patrolling and that they should be potentially shooting at these people. Now, I'm certainly not suggesting they should shoot at these people. What they should do is get the people who were burning this city to the ground and lock their butts up. That's what I want to see them do. I don't want to see them shoot bullets, or I don't want to see them shoot paintballs at these people. I want them to lock the rioters up who are causing the harm. Again, walking through this neighborhood was completely useless because nobody was going to do anybody any harm. How do I know that? I just know that. Let's be honest here, right? This is a place where we can be honest with one another. Let's don't lie about this kind of silly stuff. These people in this neighborhood were not creating and building Molotov cocktails to go burn down the other part of Minneapolis where other people live who were burning the rest of the city down. So this is certainly a reflection on and a stain on Tim Walz because he felt it okay to send these people to shoot at local residents in a town who were not rioting, nowhere near the rioting, and just because he had a technicality of a curfew, he felt like this was the right thing to do. Remember, this is a judgment call on his part. This is him deciding this is a good thing for you to do, and I support this. Do you want us to go into the neighborhoods where everything is smoldering and on fire? No, 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 no. Hold off on that. There's a nicer neighborhood over here where you're not going to meet any resistance. Go pepper those people up. Light them up, as they say in the video. Again, guys, just to be clear, I'm not picking on the Hodge twins because I do feel like they were factually correct in their post because this was, in fact, during COVID, but this was not because of COVID. This was not because of a lockdown. Now, to be clear, don't think they wouldn't do this because of COVID, because they got a taste of power. Remember, this was May 2020. They hadn't gotten a full taste yet, right? They hadn't gotten a full taste of the slaves out there that would simply bend over for whatever stupid thing that they asked them to do. They hadn't started forcing themselves on these people as far as getting the little sticky stick into the arm. They hadn't started really pushing these people as far as telling them you can go outside, you just have to wear a mask. Remember, they hadn't really crushed the American soul at this point in May of 2020. They were just getting started at this point. So I do believe, had this been 6 months later, yeah, this probably would have been accurate as a result of COVID. They may have been doing this because of COVID. But in this video, they did this during COVID. And that's very different. That's no different than lying about saying somebody died of COVID whenever they died with COVID, but they died in a motorcycle accident. They just happened to have had COVID whenever they got run over on the street, right? It's the same type of dishonesty. Yes, you are factually correct, but your omission of some of the facts made this look like you were trying to insinuate something, which therefore in my eyes looks like a lie. So let's be careful with that. Again, not trying to pick on these guys. I just think that we owe it to ourselves to be truthful. We can play dirty with them when we got to get down to it, but I don't think we do that by twisting the actual truth.
God save the Queen, man.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America.
He's so